Hello, welcome to my channel, Lady D. This is going to be my astrology and psychic reading for this week ahead. So my weekly video that I usually do. So this, and I must say, this weekend I am also at Reesby Workers, where I'll be at an expo there in Sydney, Saturday and Sunday. I'll also be doing hosting a card reading workshop on both days at 1:30 p.m. It will be a 30-minute workshop, so it won't be anything that's too deep. Be some fun activities on how to start reading cards and getting used to different cards and just what to basically just a card reading workshop. It's 30 minutes, but it'll be a lot of fun. So this week ahead, what we've got going on. We do have the main thing. Finally, we have that Chiron and that Jupiter that's come together. So this week, definitely you're going to start feeling like any issues that are coming up should be like a relief or clearing up. Whenever I see Jupiter that's going to hit a planet, you get something luck from. So Chiron, it is too big to be an asteroid and too small to be a planet. So it's just Chiron, but it represents pain. Whenever I see it in the chart, I know things haven't gone too well for that person in that area of the chart. So with Jupiter coming in there, it's going to help to ease things over, and you'll have luck with any sort of painful issues that are coming up this week. We've also got a square with Neptune and Mars. With this here, I find that Neptune dissolves. A lot of the astrologers will say that it fogs up, and it is a bit foggy when I see it terms in a health house, but when I see in a physical house, I do see that it takes something away, that it dissolves. So when we got an angle with Mars, I feel like it's because Mars is about being motivated. It is a bit like aggressive and argumentative it can be. So with that, it could be like a dimming effect. So you might not feel as angry or as might feel a bit more calmer, not as frustrated, but also it could be a thing here of being confusion, and I've got tired and restlessness maybe coming up this week, not being able to handle too much pressure that's coming up, lack of motivation, even feeling a bit daydreamy coming up here, and things feeling unstable could be coming up with this transit that's going to be on the 13th, 14th, depending where you are around the world. And then we've also got another square with Venus and Pluto, so this is going to bring up this might bring up some sort of lies in relationships or trust issues with money and finances. There could also be an aspect of trying to fit things in. There's also can be a needing to find a balance or a stubbornness in relationships and with your finances, really trying to like sticking to what you're wanting to do coming in. And we've also got here that I feel like what's coming up this week, a bit of clue, but you might feel a bit clueless, like not really knowing what's going on. We've got here a need to be ready and prepared for anything. I just feeling like things are very unstable. We might see with this square some could be some things with finances, economies may not go well this week with this transit. There could be an aspect of feeling like we're sort of free falling a little bit here, because that Pluto is just hanging on the edge there, getting ready a couple of weeks to make its way into Aquarius. We got here a need to rely on friends and people around us this week. You might have to rely on and ask for help this week, because I could take a leap of faith. When opportunities come up to you, you got to grab them and go ahead and have that leap of faith. There could be a lack of sleep coming up this week. We got here a feeling like drained or lack of energy could be coming up with some of these transits. Feeling of loss, loneliness, that would be with the Venus transit that we have. I've got here, sit in the energy and reflect on the past 3 years to see what you have learned. And I feel like this is about the Saturn energy that's moving into Pisces. I just feel like it is going to be a good time to just sit and reflect this week in what you have learned over the last 3 years. And as in the collective, I feel like the last 3 years there has been a really big divide in the collective of certain issues and certain topics around the world. And it's like, I know what I've learnt from these 3 years, that's for sure. Okay, we got here, need to be there for others. I feel like there could be an aspect where you'll having to lean on people, but as well people leaning on you. So we really need people around us this week. Got here, don't be afraid of maybe people who are very intense or very strong personalities. And it could be a week where you might be tested or having to stand up to people like this. And like there could be some mirror work coming in here where you're having to really have like reflection on yourself, or like mirror image that's coming up here too. So just watching one of my cats in the room, the new cat. She's a bit mischief. Okay, so what else have we got? So I just feel like we do have, by the time we come back next week, we're going to have Venus, which is going to be ever so close, making its way into Taurus. We shall talk about that more next week. We also have, I just feel like there's going to be a thing of misunderstandings that are going to come up to this week. And I do feel like we're still having that feeling of things are being unbalanced, and it's like we, as well as we wanting to be told the truth of what is going on. So we'll do some cards so we'll to see what's coming up in the week ahead too. So let's just see what cards am I going to use today. I'm going to use I haven't used these ones in a while. My villains card. Let's have a look here and just see. I also feel like there's going to be a blame game here, and I feel I'm going into politics, that there's like miscommunications, misunderstandings. There is a blame game going on here that I feel like it's happening. I'm seeing Donald Trump, so I feel like he's going to be involved in this. He's not going away, that's for sure, but he's going to start blaming, like calling out, I feel like, governments and things that are going on that I can see. I also feel like there's more snow coming for those of you who are in the winter, especially I feel like in America, New York, there's more snow that's coming here. And the temperature's like freezing cold. It's interesting, I'm going through a kind of a heat wave myself over this part of the world this week. It's like we're having a late summer. Okay. Let's have a look what's happening this week. Alright, let's have a look what's coming up. Oh, okay. There is an aspect here of, I feel like, of help, wanting help, having to help others as well. We've got here Rapunzel's hair coming down from the tower. And you might even be mesmerized, so people might be trying to be tricking you this week, or you might be feeling like you're in some sort of trance that's coming up too. And it's funny, I was talking about mirror images, and then comes out the evil witch with the mirror. It even could be that you're trying to be on top and someone is trying to take your thunder or take your power. Could be coming in. And it could be there even could be aspects of people trying to take something of yours this week, and trying to use it for their own advantage. That's coming up here. I feel like we need to be careful of, like, make sure like who you trust. So like you got to be around your people you know you can trust, or friends. It's going to be very important. That's coming up this week. I do feel like there could be a bit of heartache for those who, relationships that have been feeling, I feel like relationships that have been feeling unstable, the ones that maybe deep down know aren't meant to be, could be coming up in a bit of heartache, especially with this square with Pluto that's coming up here. And it even could be just a thing of changing sides. So perhaps if you're someone who was like suddenly on this side, you thought this was going to be it. You change opinions, change sides, change the way that you're thinking. Could be coming up this week as well. And there is an aspect of I feel like in relationships, there is a crowd. So be careful with people with three people in relationships. May not go according to plan or well, or I feel like this could be the week that you even get found out if you are trying to really manipulate or pull the wool over someone's eyes that are coming up here. There's a lot of things here I feel like about relationships and love. Also, and an aspect of trying to find a way. really trying to find a way through and out of this like mess or messy situation that's coming up. But there is an aspect of, I feel like maybe someone you thought were no good, changing sides to being okay, coming up here. This card is standing out to me with Iago, and I think in the second movie, or in the end, he turns out to be good. So to me, it's about changing sides. That's coming up too. And I do feel like there's like an aspect of like the good will win. People who are in strong, stable relationships, I feel like is going to stay. As I said, people with relationships troubles, or where it's not a strong foundation, this is where the problems are going to start happening and things coming up for it too. I do feel like there's I think of also events coming together and collectives and celebrations that are also coming up. But it's like, geez, and these are for people who are on solid ground, who are very clear about what they're wanting and very able to move ahead with things, who are not holding back, but also in high spirits too. And there's also an aspect of maybe running away from something, but I also feel like someone's trying to take something from you this week. Someone could be trying to take something from you, and it's just be careful about, who do you trust. Someone, there's a lot of changing signs. Maybe who you thought you could trust as well could be the opposite too. So we're looking at both sides of the mirror here, both like mirror images, mirrors coming out. But I feel like I need to also count my pennies this week and maybe try to hold back on spending and try to save up as much as I could this week as well. And it's all about having this inner peace and inner knowing too. And also I just feel like a lot of reflection that's coming up this week. So let's look at the channel for this week ahead that's coming up here with these transits. So, okay. You as a collective are standing strong and trying to hold to the bitter end of these old realities and the old ways of being. For over the next few months and even few weeks, these things are going to change. For the new ways are coming, new traditions are emerging, a new way of being. Do not be scared, do not hold back, and to go forward in your unique lives. You all stand still, but stand together and stand strong. For you all know which side you're really on, and you all know which part you're going to play. It is all about how this is going to be dealt, what cards will come out, and how you're going to feel when the time comes. For what has been pushed is not maybe what it seems, but something where they're saying will happen in 3 years could actually happen this year. For there will be a big surprise with a big bang that is coming up this week. For you are all not going to realize what is happening until the end of the week. Even by Friday, the most stunning thing is going to happen. And even the darkest days comes out the brightest of lights. For the light will always win and will always win brightly and shine. So do not worry, do not have no fear. For your fears that will come in will override you and will make you nervous and anxiety plagued. For just trust in the good and trust in the light. Trust in the better ways that will come. For when Aquarius starts to be activated by Pluto, the people will rise up and you'll be able to get what you want and live the life that you are wanting to create. Okay, so let's now do the four cards. Have a look here. What am I going to do? These cards, this deck here standing out to me. Card 2, card 3, card 4. So look here. Card number 1, use this card here. So with this card here, I do feel like there is lines being drawn. There is someone surrendering as well. It's like a third party here, and they're surrendering. And you're really trying to go on the right path, but you're being blocked. But I feel like the thing for you this week is that you need to meet someone in the middle. it's like you need to go halfway. And as long as you go halfway, it will, I feel like things are going to work out, and you can go further, but you can't be submissive. You have to be heard. Your voice needs to, I feel like it's very strong that your voice is heard this week. That's coming up. But everything's looking quite bright, but there's also could be a third option. If there's something coming up where you're having to think things through, there could be a third option that's coming up here as well. Card number 2, which is this card here. So with this card here, it's like your flame is burning very brightly. There could be some emotional stuff coming up around the home and family matters. You're being very creative this week, and you're trying to explore new avenues and new things. You're wanting to leave the past behind. You're all about the future, but you're really sharing your creative talent that you have, and you're looking, I feel like you're looking very bright. You're keeping emotions at bay that are going to come up here, because you're wanting to try and just be, I feel like you're trying to be positive, but you're very focused on the details of what you're working on this week. And I just feel like it's a bit about keeping your options open too. That coming up. Card number 3, which is this card here. There's a great balance here, night and day. There's a yin and yang here, like you're in harmony. You're having to go, you're not making a choice, you're staying in between. You're trying to keep things balanced this week. You're trying to look at the positive side of things more than the negative side. The way you're thinking is changing, and you're trying to find solid ground to walk on. You want things to be more solid around you, and you're really trying to make that happen. You might be feeling isolated or alone, but you know that you've got what you want is in your sights, but you're also, if there's any conflict this week for you, I feel like you're trying to take the middle. You're really not taking any sides, trying to be very neutral. That's coming up with this one here. Then number 4, which is this card here. This card here, I feel like you're coming out visiting people. It's a very social week for you. You're even giving people offering. You're being there for others. You're being a true friend. There's someone around you who's very loyal. Again, it could be you looking after children this week, perhaps. There is a sense of looking back into the past, or ancient ways, or old traditions perhaps you're looking into as well. Things are getting very brighter for you. It is new beginnings coming up here. You're very talented at how you are, and you're able to please people, but you're all able to make people calm this week. You have a calming sense about you as well with this card here. Okay. So that's it for my video for this week. As I said, if you are in Sydney, come down in Reesby, say hi. There's a lot of different stores to see and do, things to see and do. And there's other workshops there, not just mine as well. It's $5 entry for adults and free for children. And it is going to be, I feel like it's going to be quite a fun thing to have and to be at this week. So it's 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And I hope you have a fabulous week ahead, and I'll see you for my next video. So bye for now.